what the hell is wrong with Trump. He's obviously unwell. He's acting like a maniac.
Wrong.
He is very obviously deeply unwell. There is something wrong with him. He's up past midnight attacking the Pope.
If you keep talking, I'm going to leave and you can have it out with them.
He's posting pictures of himself as Jesus.
What did that just do?
We've been at war in Iran for a month and a half. Gas is way above $4 a gallon.
I don't care. I don't care.
The Epstein files are still being hidden.
Quiet. Quiet.
If we could just get back to May 1.
DHS is still shut down.
No, I don't take responsibility.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. And let me just say, today's agenda is really something.
HRES 1156 would express the House's support for tax policies that support working families across our nation, as well as a recognition of the positive impacts that the working families tax cuts have delivered for hardworking families. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, the expansion of educational freedom and choice through 529 accounts for families. The list goes on and on. The facts and evidence as to why the working families tax cuts are a boon to the American people are as clear as day. There's no debate about it.
First, Republicans want us to vote on giving themselves a pat on the back for their big, ugly bill. You don't even use the bill's actual name in this resolution. Instead of calling it its actual title, which you named it the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, you're calling it the Working Families Tax Cuts Act, rebranding it because it's so unpopular.
Thanks, James.
So let me give you guys a little bit of advice. If your bill is popular and helps people, you don't need to pass another measure to tell people how popular and great it is.
No, I'm out.
You wouldn't need to rebrand it. You wouldn't need to tell people something works if it actually works. They would know. Second, we have the Fire Act, the Red Tape Act, and the Fences Act, all huge giveaways to big polluters so they can dump more toxins into our air and make people sicker. And then we have a Pfizer extension that Republicans don't even know if they can pass.
That's true.
So here's the point. I spent my time meeting with constituents over the last 2 weeks. I didn't buy a bubble wand in Disney World. I spent my time listening to people I work for. And you know what they said to me? They're asking, what the hell is wrong with Trump? He's obviously unwell. He's acting like a maniac.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And my voters want to know why you guys are acting like everything is just normal. It's not normal, and you all know it. He is very obviously deeply unwell. There is something wrong with him. He's up past midnight attacking the Pope. He's posting pictures of himself as Jesus. And as a Catholic, I'm horrified by that. And I'm sick and tired of Republicans acting like everything is okay. Because the people back home in my district and I think people all across the country think he's nuts. And they want to know when Republicans are going to grow a spine and stand up to this lunatic.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
We've been at war in Iran for a month and a half. Gas is way above $4 a gallon. The Epstein files are still being hidden. DHS is still shut down. Costs are skyrocketing. And the President of the United States isn't doing anything to solve any of that. He's posting pictures of himself as Jesus and saying he's going to commit war crimes. And this committee, the powerful House Rules Committee, which could meet to do something about any one of these issues, is passing a non-binding bill to congratulate Republicans for passing a bill they already passed. I mean, this is insane, Madam Chair.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Take any one of these issues, the DHS shutdown, for example, and look at how it's impacting people. DHS is still shut down because Republicans are fighting with each other instead of working together to do their job. Mike Johnson had a perfect bipartisan deal hand-delivered to him and rejected it, only to reverse course and accept it. So why aren't we voting to reopen DHS today? Good question. Nobody knows. Apparently, Mike Johnson doesn't really even care because we're not even considering DHS legislation today in this committee. And Trump is now paying TSA workers anyway. Apparently, he believes that he could have paid TSA workers all along.
He got cooked.
Adrian, you didn't go down like that, huh?
He got cooked.
So he withheld the pay because he wanted to use TSA workers as pawns. Kind of what a rotten thing to do. And again, this is just one of the many broken promises and betrayals from Trump and the Republicans in Congress. You guys promised lower prices on day one. Promise broken. Everything is more expensive. Rent, healthcare, groceries, gas. You guys promised to release the Epstein files. Promise broken. It's now been months and months since Democrats forced a vote to demand the release of the files, yet the administration continues to stonewall and protect pedophiles instead of prosecuting them. You guys promised no new wars. Promise way, way broken. We have now been at war with Iran for over a month and a half. 13 American service members are dead. Hundreds more are wounded. Thousands of civilians have been killed. And now get this. Now we are blocking the Strait of Hormuz, the strait that Iran already blockaded. So we are blockading their blockade? How does that make any sense? Meanwhile, oil prices continue to soar. And higher oil prices mean higher gas prices, higher food prices, higher housing costs. It will drive everything up. Costs are going up and up because of Trump's war. And he is taking money out of the pockets of every single American family. And for what? So we can reopen a strait that was already open before the war started? What a disaster. Families are hurting, gas prices are digging into people's budgets, fertilizer prices are hurting farmers, our troops are at risk, our allies are abandoning us, our adversaries are laughing at us, and Republicans' big plan for the week is passing a resolution to congratulate themselves for a bill they already passed last year. A big ugly bill, by the way, that made $1 trillion cut to Medicare and Medicaid, and a $200 billion cut to food assistance for seniors and kids, so they could give new tax breaks to multimillionaires and billionaires and giant corporations. That is what we get from Republicans every week in the Rules Committee. More broken promises, more betrayals, more fluff, while people back home are crying out for action.
It's not easy doing what I do, is it? Not easy.
A reckoning is coming, Madam Chair, and for the people who are being hurt by the policies of this president and this Republican Congress, that reckoning cannot come soon enough. I yield back.
Okay, wait a second. Just think about what actually happened in that exchange. This wasn't just a normal political disagreement. It wasn't just two sides arguing policies. There was something deeper running underneath everything that was said. At the beginning, the conversation is framed around policies that support working families, presented as if the benefits are obvious, as if the results are undeniable, as if people are clearly feeling the impact in their daily lives. But then the response shifts the ground completely, not by throwing more data, not by arguing technical details, but by going somewhere much simpler. People's lived reality. If it really works, why do you need to rebrand it? That question alone changes everything. Because now the focus is no longer on what's being claimed, it's on whether people actually feel it. And from there, the tone starts to evolve, quickly. The discussion moves away from policy specifics and into something more emotional, more instinctive. Something doesn't feel right. When leadership is described as unstable or not acting normally, that's not just a political attack, that's tapping into a sense of unease. And unease is powerful. Because once people start questioning stability, everything else becomes secondary. Then something very strategic happens. Multiple issues get pulled together into one single narrative. War, rising costs, hidden files, government shutdowns, they're not analyzed one by one. They're connected. And the goal here isn't to explain each issue in depth. It's to create a bigger picture, that everything is going wrong at the same time. Because people don't always react to details. They react to the overall feeling. If the feeling is that everything is off, then the conclusion starts forming on its own. Then comes another key element, promises. You said this would happen, and it didn't. This is important because it doesn't require complex proof. People just compare what they were told to what they're experiencing. Prices are higher, then something didn't work, then something very strategic happens. Multiple issues get pulled together into one single narrative. War, rising costs, hidden files, government shutdowns, they're not analyzed one by one, they're connected. And the goal here isn't to explain each issue in depth. It's to create a bigger picture, that everything is going wrong at the same time. Because people don't always react to details. They react to the overall feeling. If the feeling is that everything is off, then the conclusion starts forming on its own. Then comes another key element: promises. You said this would happen, and it didn't. This is important because it doesn't require complex proof. People just compare what they were told to what they're experiencing. Prices are higher, then something didn't work. Now the conversation is no longer, is this policy good? It becomes, did it actually help me? That's a completely different question. Then we move into priorities. A very simple but effective point is raised. Why are these not the things being addressed right now? Instead, attention is going towards symbolic actions, things that don't immediately change people's lives. And this creates a gap between decision makers and everyday reality. That gap matters, because once people feel disconnected from those in charge, trust starts to weaken. Then notice the choice of examples: gas, groceries, rent. These are not abstract topics. Everyone understands them instantly. Everyone feels them. And when those everyday struggles are tied directly to decisions at the top, the impact becomes personal. It's no longer the situation is bad. It becomes this is why things are bad. Another important detail: the emotion being used here isn't random anger, it's directed. People are asking, people are frustrated, that framing matters. Because it suggests this isn't just one voice, it's something broader. Whether or not that's fully accurate, the perception of collective frustration makes the message stronger. And by the end, everything is brought together into one clear idea. Things were promised. Those promises didn't materialize. Problems are still growing, and the focus is misplaced. And then comes the signal. There's going to be a reckoning. That's not just a statement. It's a sense that change is coming. And here's the most important part. This kind of message isn't trying to convince everyone. It's targeting people who already feel something is off. People who are uncertain, frustrated, or starting to question things. It doesn't give them entirely new information. It gives them a way to interpret what they're already feeling. Because the most effective message isn't the one that completely changes your mind. It's the one that tells you, you're not the only one who feels this way. And that's where the real influence begins. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more, and let me know what you think in the comments. And check out the other videos on the channel.